com. And today we're going to imagine taking some time to pause in your busy day and maybe sit in the quiet and talk to those no longer with you. This is a sweet story. Joining us from Hattiesburg is Rick Taylor. He's the executive director of the Hattiesburg Convention Commission, where they've got something unique there at the Lake Terrace Convention Center. Welcome, Rick.
Nice to have you, or nice to be with you, Rebecca.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I found this story a while back, so I know you guys have kind of had this set up for a little while now, and I thought how unique and intentional and special this vintage repurposed phone is. So it's kind of something for people to wrap their minds around. So how do you sort of share with people what's there in y'all's Lake Terrace Convention Center?
Well, outside the convention center, we have a couple of lakes, and it's a popular place for people to come walk, feed the ducks. And as you mentioned, it's very peaceful, it's very serene. And some dear friends of the commission and some folks here in Hattiesburg lost a son, a 20-year-old son, at the very start of 2021, and it's been very challenging for them. And this is something that Hiram and Melissa Hill of Petal, a suburb of Hattiesburg, came to us and wanted to do. It's something they came across that originally was done in Japan by a Mr. Sasaki when he lost his spouse. And it just gives people a quiet place to kind of share their thoughts, with loved ones who have passed, and maybe say some of the things that they wish they had more opportunity to say.
So tell me about the phone, because it is vintage. I know it's repurposed, but does it have a story, or did you all find the phone? Did they bring you the phone? Sort of, how did you choose the phone?
The Hills did it all for us. They asked us for a spot, and then they prepared a cabinet which has a beautiful inscription in it, and found an old rotary dial phone, and put the whole thing together, and then just asked us, was there a good spot for it? And we knew it would be good around the lake, but we put a little pathway to it and a bench to sit there, and put it in a spot where all the folks who come to the lakes to walk or exercise, it won't intrude on anybody. So there's plenty of room for everybody to utilize this area in a way that they like, but also to let folks have a moment of reflection.
What has been, I guess, have people come and used it? Have you seen people out there enjoying the space? I know it's kind of a very personal thing for those that may be taking a heed of the phone, but is it being utilized?
It is, and what's interesting about that is, it's wintertime here in Mississippi, and that means it's hot or cold depending on what the day is. So with the cold weather, we've seen not as many people out there, but we have some people who've come out when it warmed up, and we really anticipate as we head into the spring that, and as the word gets out, and thank you for helping us with that this will be a wonderful spot for folks to come and join those who've already found it, and have a moment just to be with their thoughts and be with their loved ones.
Well, I think in this digital age where we're always preoccupied or distracted, or our mind's going 90 miles an hour, just this idea that you could have a spot to go and maybe just sit and reflect, and you have to sort of be intentional with your own thoughts in sort of a way, or thinking of those that you wish could sit on a bench with you and have that conversation. And two, I think it brings up, Rick, the idea that, not everybody's going to be around forever, and you may still take the time to sit and have those conversations with those that you love. It should be also a reminder that time is short, and you're going to want to have conversations at some point with people who maybe you take for granted now.
Absolutely. One of the things that we have seen over the years here at the convention center and around the lakes are very special family moments out there. Obviously, as I mentioned, we've got some wild ducks and geese that have decided that the friendly people of Hattiesburg have decided that they don't want to migrate anymore. So we've got lots of those, and people bring their kids out as a family to feed the ducks. But we also get a lot of high school graduation photos and baby photos and that sort of thing shot around here. So it's sort of a space where people are with their loved ones, and this is just another opportunity to build on that, and to let people have that moment. As you pointed out, we live such hectic lives, and everything's so busy, and electronics have added to that. We think this fits very well with the concept that we have out there of just a moment of peace and quiet, reflection, introspection, and really a chance to kind of think about the things that are great or have been great in your life.
For those that may be traveling through, maybe they're not from the Pine Belt area, where is the Convention Commission, Rick, or where could we come if we're traveling through and maybe pull off and stretch our legs and see the beautiful scenery?
Sure. Well, the Convention Commission is housed at the Lake Terrace Convention Center, and we are at the junction of Interstate 59 and Highway 49. Just right as if you're coming from Jackson, where the road that heads to New Orleans crosses, we are right at that intersection. And the big sign, you can't miss it. You just pull in, and you can't miss the lakes. They're very obvious. And you just park, and there's sidewalks that lead you all the way around it. Whether we have events or not at the convention center, this area is always available to the public, and there's a visitor center here as well. So it's just a great place for people passing through to stop, stretch their legs, and have a moment.
You mentioned the walking trails. How long is the walking trail? Is it like quarter mile, half a mile? There's my mind. I'm thinking, can I get in my steps?
When we built it, we didn't do it on purpose, but it turns out it's exactly 1/4 of a mile around the lake. So some of our folks who come out and exercise have found that to be a very good length. But it's an easy walk. There's some bridges, but it's all on one level. And like I mentioned, we've got these beautiful ducks and geese out there who love the people that come. In fact, they recognize cars now. I guess there's some people that come and feed them pretty regularly. They know their cars. So, if you've got kids, it's a great thing for them to do. But it's a peaceful, serene area.
Dan in Hattiesburg, Rick on our text line, our C Spire text line, said that he passes by Lake Terrace every day, and he had no idea about this particular feature, talking about the phone where you can sort of sit and reflect and pick it up and dial it if you want to, dial an old number, and he's looking forward to actually seeing it. So I love that. I love the thought behind it with the family. I hope that the community takes advantage of it. And again, just the whole idea that, we should pause and connect and get some things off our chest, or just sometimes you just want to reach out and have a physical way to talk to those that are no longer with us.
That's right. Well, we're pleased to hear. I'm pleased to hear that, and I know that as time goes on, more and more people will find this just to be a wonderful little respite from the hectic pace of life.
And I mean, you could teach your kids a rotary phone too, right? It's the old school. Or
That's right. There, yeah. You can show them what we used to have to dial with. Most folks don't remember that. So yeah.
If nothing else, they can go and feed the ducks, and then also get a little history lesson. You put your finger in, and you let it go. You put your finger in, and then you let it go. But in a serious note, I think it's a beautiful tribute, and it's a wonderful addition to the area. And I appreciate your time.
Well, thank you very much. And we really, we just can't say enough about the thought and the contribution by the Hills to make this happen. It's a great addition, and we really appreciate it.
I would love to see it pop up all over Mississippi and our sort of serene spots. I think it'd be cool to see, or at least, areas designated to this kind of pause and reflecting. I think it would be really cool. So maybe y'all start something there in Hattiesburg.
I hope so.
All righty. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you.
How cool is that? I mean, I know it's kind of a somber way to start our day here on Good Things, but at the same time, I think it's a wonderful thing to think about those that are no longer with us and those wonderful moments that you had with them, but also don't overlook the fact that not every day is guaranteed for anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be those that are mature in years that pass on from us. Life is short and can be taken, and you should sit on park benches and have conversations and go take walks and feed the ducks and teach your kids about rotary phones. I'm just thinking about my 10-year-old looking at it, trying to figure out how to actually dial a number on it. It would lighten the load for sure, no matter who you gave a phone call to on that. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, you guys stick with this. We've got some more good talk for you coming up next.
Oh, we are